Troops, here we are, another Eagle podcast, another awesome guest, found again from Instagram, absolutely brilliant outdoor brand. I'm going to do my very best to say the name right, but I'm sure the lady behind it will pick me up if I say it wrong. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. YUGEN. You've seen them on Instagram. People wear the bobble hats. People have the plugs. Grace, how you doing?
Hello, good, thank you. It is YUGEN.
Yeah, there we go. My northern accent. YUGEN.
But yeah, whatever, anything goes.
Let's go straight in that then, Grace. Accents, people saying it wrong. What is the reason behind it? What's the meaning?
So YUGEN is a Japanese word, and it means an awareness of the universe too deep and meaningful for words. So it's like when you hike up a mountain and you can't put into words how amazing it is, or you see a sunset and you're just in awe at the beauty.
And that's YUGEN.
And that is YUGEN, yeah. So the idea is that we want people to experience their own moments of YUGEN and to to see the amazing things themselves.
That's class. And is that where that comes from? Or is that just the
shaka? So that's obviously it's like the travel. It's like a surfing sign, isn't it? It means
awesome.
Yeah, so that's how that comes from.
Cool. Let's reverse back to you. What is your background before you started an international clothing brand or outdoor brand?
So my background is I did fashion buying at university,
right,
at Manchester, and then I've worked for like various other retailers like cycling brands and stuff. But
cool.
I was a product developer at Go Outdoors for a few years.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then went to Australia for a couple of years and was a buyer out there as well. Amongst various other things, I've done like all sorts of jobs to get by over the years.
Oh well, that's really interesting sort of background there. Go Outdoors, what was that like? And that'll sort of bring me on into the high street and the online high street. Like how is that evolving?
I mean, it's a tough time for retailers at the moment. For me, working at Go Outdoors, like I just absolutely loved it. Like people are just so nice. Like it's the head office is in Sheffield.
Yeah.
Like I had amazing bosses like Jim and Lauren, and they just kind of when people see something in you that you don't see in yourself, and like it is amazing. And yeah, so it is a really good company to work for. But like you said, at the moment it is a tough time for trading for retailers, and I think companies that don't kind of keep up with the online activity and social media and that kind of thing are just going to end up getting left behind.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. On that, with social media, I believe everything has its ceiling and everything has a bubble. Can you see social media hitting its bubble? And if it does, what do you think replaces it?
I think the thing with social media is I think customers are getting wise to just having ads and seeing posts for no reason and like pushing products down people's faces. So the whole thing like for us is that we want people to feel like they're part of the community and they're buying into a lifestyle rather than just buying a travel adapter or just buying a hat. They're actually becoming sort of they're part of the team and they're part of just part of the community. And I think that's just the way that we're going with it. Because otherwise people can just get fed up with using social media. And I think it's obviously more interactive now, doing the meetups and that kind of thing. And for me, I think that's the way that it's going to go, because people want to see people as opposed to just being sat on social media.
No, you've absolutely nailed it on the head there. There is brands who are really, really good. Lecky spring to mind. Aslo boots, you know, the Italian maker boots. Oh, I'm saying that right. I'm pretty terrible at pronouncing names. They'll interact with you. Now, there's other companies. I wear Scarpas all the time. I've always wore Scarpa boots. But you'll never get anything off Scarpa. Now, Scarpa may think that they're top of the tree, but someone once said the Titanic would never sink. And we all know that went, you know, the pool's still full. And it's important that any brand, I think, has to interact with its customers, no matter if you're spending 50 quid a year or you're spending $500,000 a year. I feel like you've got to interact. And that's one thing I've noticed about you straight away, and the brand is, say if I wear your bobble hat out and about, which I do, you always like reply, or you always repost it, and you always comment. And I think that's a great trait, because what that shows is there's actually a human being behind the image and the branding. And I think that's why you are doing so well. Was that a conscious decision to do that, or is that just your personality?
No, that is just my personality. So it is all about just being authentic. And
Yeah.
I'm like a positive, happy person, and I'm really friendly. And I think it's just obviously shown through the social media. And it's like, I am genuinely grateful, and we are as a company, for everyone that's bought anything from us or that tags and shares, because it wouldn't be what it is without everybody's help today.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, I like seeing people's stories, and it inspires me at the same time. We've got what you might have seen, Tina Dixon. She's been a customer and a supporter from day one. Like, she's just been amazing, and she came and I've seen her go from just buying a product from us to now she's like being on Snowdon, and she's like doing these amazing adventures. And I feel like people like her are part of our community, and just keep expanding that and growing on that. Because someone gave me some advice once and said, happy customers is better than any business plan. And so I just think people can see through things, can't they? And if you just be authentic and be your true self, and just be positive and help other people and inspire, our sort of brand ethos is explore, create, inspire, share. And it's just sort of sticking to them values and sort of trying to inspire other people.
Absolutely, no, that's great. No, there's a lot of people sort of getting on brand with what you are trying to do. And on the meetups, how are you doing the meetups? Are you what sort of stuff are you doing? Are you just sort of going up Snowdon, Scaffold Pike, etc., or is there some sort of like structure to it, or are you just meeting and going for a bit of a bimble?
So the idea behind the meetup, so I was living in Australia for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And being an expat, you don't know anybody. So I started joining meetups, and then I came back to work on the brand. And I just thought to myself, when I come back, why don't I do meetups in the UK? You know, why do I wait until I'm traveling and to meet new people? I didn't know anybody that was outdoorsy. And I just really wanted to, I thought, I don't want to end up coming back to England and being depressed and sad that I've left Australia. I like hanging about with the same people, because I love meeting new people. So I just thought I'll start joining meetups. So I went on Adventure Queens. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
Yeah, so that's like a women's meetup group. It is amazing.
Yeah.
You basically just meeting random women from like around England. I went on a couple of them, loved them. But then I felt like there was something missing for men as well. So my brother, he's like, I think people get a bit sick of like going out drinking, being hungover, then you feel depressed. So started doing meetups for men as well to join. It's just to get more people outdoors. It's like mental health reasons, and then it's again to connect my followers. Our followers on like YUGEN, they post loads of stuff for us, and kind of giving back. And I know it probably sounds a bit cheesy, and I know like it's not a social enterprise, but it's sort of giving back to the community, and it's doing some good by getting people together. And people like that say they didn't know where to come, or they're a bit anxious or nervous, and then they come and they love them, and they're just like, oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, I always say the hardest part of any day is the car park. That's the hardest part, because that thing of, oh, am I going to have the best gear? Am I going to be the slowest? Am I going to be the quickest? What happens if no one likes me? Like, let's just be honest. That's a life thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, life can be cruel. So you have to sort of be prepared sometimes to turn up in the car park and just say, kick the door off the hinges and just say, right, who's here? Because I'm here. And like, just get amongst it. The amount of people who I know who say these words, oh, well, I was going to, or well, what it was, or well, what it is, like, that is just stories that you try and put into a reason why you didn't come on a great adventure. Like, that's just what some people do to protect themselves, instead of just saying, oh, I missed out and I shouldn't have. I've got to come up with a reason why. And I think with your brand, I feel like if I saw someone wearing like one of your hats and I was wearing a hat, we'd probably like give each other the old,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? We'd give each other the high fives, yeah.
Yeah, two did that last weekend in Snowdon, Amy and
Mint.
Tina, and they said they walked past each other and then got chatting and then posting it on social media. And like you said, that's the kind of thing. Like it's the tribe, isn't it? It's
The
vibe
tribe.
kind of thing. Yeah. So.
No, that's an important part of it, and that's what it needs. That's what it needs to be. Like I have this whole eagles and ducks thing. Like I have like, you know, this. I used to be a bit of a duck. Do you know what I mean? Like drinking and this, that, and t'other, and eating Cheetos in your underpants and all that sort of carry on. And like, you know, people look at me now and they'll be like, "What, you go hiking? You do 50 milers?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, why not?" Like, push. Like my thing is push yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that's not everyone's thing, but that's not my concern. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am like, if you want to know where uncomfortable starts, then I'm the kiddie for it. Like, and that's my tribe. Do you know what I mean? Everyone who comes out with me is on brand with that. Now, I always say as well, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay because I drink coffee. So you've got to be prepared to sort of not be liked, and which will sort of bring me on now with the sort of success of your brand. Envy will come. So is there an action plan in place to like deal with like people who are going to be like negative? Like, how do you deal with negative people?
How do I deal with negative people? I would probably just cry, to be honest. That's genuine. Like, I know it's not a good mentality. No, like I've got a lot stronger, a lot tougher sort of over the last years. I'm more like resilience is key, and like that's the thing. You just gotta keep going at it. And I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times when like, I mean, I had to walk into a retailer. I went to retailers asking them to stock our products. And one I went into, and it was like a pre-arranged meeting. And he basically just laughed at me. There was two guys just laughed at me. And he was like, "You think you can just walk into this store and I'm going to stock your products when I don't even know your brand?" And I was just like, "Yeah, why not?" Like, and he was just like, to be honest, I couldn't stop laughing after because I couldn't believe it'd been like that.
Wow.
You just got to keep going. And then I just went to another retailer and they actually stock our products now. Like, so I think it's resilience is key, and that's why the support from like everyone on social media as well for our brand, that's why it means so much, because I think you need that support as well to keep going. Like, and people probably don't even realize what they're doing, but it's the community.
That's one of those, isn't it? That's that moment where a lesser person would have just crumbled and gone, all right, okay, because one person doesn't believe in it, therefore I'm going to fold it. But really, you should take that as a compliment, because what he really meant was, do you know what? Fair play to her for having the guts to walk in here and say, yeah, make us a bit of space in your shop because I'm taking over. Like, and you know what? In 2 years' time, they'll be coming to you saying, would you like to stock your stuff? And you'll be like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's all I ever do. Like, the moment I encounter any negativity, I just go 10 times harder. And it just like, oh, you didn't want to see my stuff. All right, well, guess what? You're going to see it everywhere. Now, even when you open the cupboard to get out the cornflakes, I'm going to be there. Do you know what I mean?
YUGEN waiting for you.
Yeah, like that's how you do you know what you should do? You should send that guy a hat or something with a little card saying, thanks for the motivation. See you 20. Yeah, see you 2020. P.S. check out what we're doing on Instagram, by the way, because we're absolutely mopping the floor with it. So are you business minded, or have you learned business, or are you still learning as you're going?
I think it's you're always learning as you're going. I think anybody, no matter like how long you've been doing business, but I've always been sort of business minded, in like terms of trying to make money any way that I can. So I did a season in Ibiza, and I sold water on the beach and dresses, like to make some money to get by.
Nice.
I did tattoos, that kind of thing. But in terms of that, I've always been business minded, but I'm not super businessy. I don't know everything. Like, I just sort of came up with the idea, which I can talk about like the idea in a bit. But it's like then just kind of ran with it, and it just kind of happened, and you just have to keep going and learn as you go along. And everyone's kind of just winging it, aren't they? Eventually, like, and you just got to do courses, like taking as much advice as you can and learn as much, read, listen to podcasts, audio books, and you just got to pick up tips as you go along, I guess.
Yeah. What was the season like in Ibiza? Because I bet that was resilience training, because every 10 people who you said, do you want to buy this or do you want to buy that? 9 out of them 10 were like, nope. So like that rejection, that is business. You know what I mean? Like, I think that does build you in good stead. Do you know what I mean? Like that does sort of build your sort of toughness up. But talk us through that.
So yeah, that, like you said, resilience, that was like the main thing that I had to endure in Ibiza. So it was like selling dresses on the beach with an Italian woman. She didn't speak much English. I didn't speak any Spanish or Italian. So that was funny. We were like catwalking up and down the beach selling these dresses. So it was tough. Like, and then doing like selling tickets as well. You'd like be walking around approaching people. That's obviously hard. And then people will be saying, "No, we don't want your tickets. Stop bugging us. Stop pestering us." But then you just keep going, and then you get the next person that's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you came. I really want to go to this gig." That kind of stuff. You just got to keep going and just accept that, like you say, you're not for everyone. Not everyone's going to like what you're offering, but there's someone out there that does.
Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of people go wrong, is they try to be vanilla ice cream. And like, I'll be honest with you, no one really likes vanilla ice cream. Like, they'll have it if it's on, but no one's ever walked in and gone, "Oh, I could just fancy vanilla ice cream." Like, no, like be what you want to be. If you want to be sort of cream egg McFlurry, then that's what you're going to be. And not everyone wants it, but when they do want it, they're like, "Yeah, that's what I'm on. That's my game right there." So talk us through the design of the products and sort of how you've got to the range you've got.
So shall I go through sort of why we started the?
Yeah, you start where you want to start.
Okay, so I've done quite a lot of traveling over the years.
Yeah.
And I just think traveling is amazing. You learn so much. I mean, I've been to college, been to uni, but the things that you learn when you're traveling, it's just like you learn different cultures, how to manage your money, budget, and nobody's told about it in schools. Like, I didn't. I'm from Rotherham, small town. Didn't know anybody that had been traveling, and I just had to sort of learn that as I went through life, that was something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Everyone in my family thought I was crazy, wanting to go off to Thailand, and they're nobody had been before. And so I just then in 2016 I left Go Outdoors and went traveling across South America.
Wow.
And the girl that I went with, like, she didn't know anything about travel products or where to go or research or like what you needed to go trekking or anything. And I knew, because obviously I'd got sort of an outdoor background, but I just felt like, how would people know if they didn't have a friend that had been traveling or they'd not worked in the outdoor world? So and then traveling across South America, someone traveling with a bath towel, I'd be like, "Why have you got a bath towel? Like, how do you not know about a microfiber travel towel?" And they're just like, "Well, that's amazing." Or like, people still travel with a top-loading rucksack. And I'm like, "Do you not know about these that open like a suitcase?" Do you know what I mean? And it's like, people don't know unless you've been traveling. And just like the simple things like a padlock for the lockers, like, unless you've researched it or you've been traveling, you rock up somewhere and then you suddenly need a padlock and you're in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, we wanted to offer something that was products, so it's things that make your life easier, things that from personal experience, or we did like lots of custom like market research about like the basic products, because it's a small range at the minute, and just the essentials that you need to go traveling that make your life easier, or like the winter accessories like bobble hats, that kind of thing. And also with the website, we wanted it to be a one-stop shop, so that people aren't trawling the internet looking for products and advice. So everything on there. So we've got blogs, travel advice, information, and like links to the government website and that kind of thing, so that it's and then again, it's like the whole community. So they've got everything. We can offer everything, and then like we're sharing, obviously, inspiration on destinations and that kind of thing on the social media. So it's like it's totally interactive, and it's like informative and at the same time. But yeah, the products are obviously tested and like sort of well thought out.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've got the travel plug. It saved my life more than once. And actually, like when it's a proper, it's almost a conversation starter. Do you know what I mean? Because it's got it all.
Someone said my business partner actually said an interesting thing the other day. Said, if you've got just a travel adapter that you bought from a shop, you're not going to know what brand it is. But if you've got a YUGEN EXPLORE travel adapter, you'll know that you've got a YUGEN EXPLORE.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice.
The idea behind them is we want to promote sustainability. So
absolutely.
A worldwide one, so you can use it anywhere in the world. And it's also comes in the little case, the zip bag, which you'll know about, the little. So is that you look after it, you keep it forever, and you can use it anywhere. You can use it in the UK, you can use it around the world, and so you don't have to buy a cheap adapter for £1 and leave it in a hostel. The idea is to keep it because you know it's a YUGEN one, and you're gonna sort of look after it.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing, and obviously everyone's done it. They've gone to a hostel and are like, like I've forgotten this or I've forgotten that, and it's like, I think because your stuff's so well branded, it's like I've got to take that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like that thing that you'll never forget. Well, I know what you're saying, these horrible little cheapy adapters. It's like, oh, I didn't bring my adapter. Like it's like your bobble hat is like when I lay my kit out for the weekend. It's like, where's my bobble hat? Like.
Aww.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's, I've got a few bobble hats, but if I tag Rab in a post, Rab never show any love, so I don't wear my Rab ones anymore. Do you know what I mean? So it's out with a Rab.
Part of the team. You're part of the team now, anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm on brand, and it's, you know, as well. The good quality, like I've had cheap bobble hats, and you can tell like they transform really quickly. They go dead bitty dead quickly. But yours, you can tell it's good quality stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like it's worth it.
It's hard to obviously get the message across because obviously it's £15 for a bobble hat, and people will be like, oh, I can get one of them from X whatever shop for like £3. But then again, that's the thing, like we're not just selling you a hat, we're selling good quality, the community, everything. You're buying into the brand, not just buying a hat. The
problem is, Grace, people never ever put value on development, but they'll happily go and spend 200 quid on the lash and doing lines of coke in the toilet. Like no one's ever gone, oh, Sambucas for 25 quid for 5. No chance. Like that's a society thing where people need to sort of think development. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's my development worth? Like, everyone will happily on the destruction trail. And I'll touch on a point that you brought up earlier on about women and blokes. But when your bobble hat was 14.99, 15 quid, I was just like, ah, nice one, bye. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just see things differently.
That's the thing. It's like trying to get away from fast fashion.
Yeah.
I've always been really passionate about like suppliers being ethical and considering the environment and sustainability. So fast fashion is like, it needs to be a thing of the past. Like, don't buy things that you think I'm going to wear it once and throw it away, or I don't care about it. It's like, that's why I say buy something from us if you love it, if you care about it, and if you're going to keep it and wear it for years. So that's, you say, it's an investment, and you're buying the development and the brand.
That's a good point. Let's talk on that. Fast fashion. For those who don't know that term, do you want to sort of explain what it means?
Yeah, so fast fashion, without naming any retailer, it's like cheap products that are constantly updating new colours, new lines, and constantly keeping up with trends. So there's obviously quite a lot of high street or online retailers that are doing that. And it's cheap products with a cheap price point, and people are just buying them thinking, I'll wear it once and then I'll probably not wear it again. Or you're all guilty of it in the past. Buy something in your wardrobe and it's still got the tag on and you've never wore it, that kind of thing. But it's like, you need to get people into the mentality of thinking, I'll buy this because I need it and because I love it, and because we need to think about the environment at the same time, kind of thing.
100% on brand with you. Here's something proper random. I repair my stuff. Imagine that. You know, if my gaiters get ripped, I just go take them down the tailor and get them repaired. If my jacket gets ripped, I go and get it repaired. Oh, what a nuanced way of thinking, like repairing your goods. Like, like it's, you know, I just spent all morning getting all the mud off my boots. We did the Wharfdale Three Peaks yesterday in Kettlewell. Now, I want my boots to last longer because I pay a lot of money for them. So guess what? I clean them. Like, it's not rocket science, people. Like, look after your stuff. Like, that's just, you know, it's not hard, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, your outdoor stuff looks after you when you want it to, when it's -10, when it's this, when it's that, you know. And if you can't come home and think, yeah, I'm going to have to put half an hour into my boots to get all that mud off and clean them and dry them, then they will fail you. Or, at a point where you don't want them to fail you, and you'll be like, oh, these boots are rubbish. It's like, nah, I ain't the boots. It's the person. It's the person in the boots. That's the.
Yeah, I've got a pair of Solomons that I took to South America, and they got submerged in Colombia on like day 2. But I'm still rocking the boots, like I'm clinging onto them. Yeah. You've got to
look after your stuff. We used to have a saying in the army. My weapon, my kit, myself. Now, obviously, I don't carry a rifle anymore when I'm out and about in the hills because people might think, what's going on here? But it's still the same principle. It's still my kit, then myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, that, it's your kit that looks after you when you're out and about. So, you know, you need to look after your kit. You brought a point up earlier on. I wanted to touch on it about you were going to these, what was it, women's adventures. And I just think that women are more willing to turn up in cap, like to turn up and meet new people more than men. I get it all the time. I push a very masculine sort of like, let's go and kick its teeth in sort of message, which I would have thought wouldn't really appeal to a lot of women. But when I look at my numbers this year, I've got a 70-30 split between women and men.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think with men, they have this thing of like macho. Oh, I don't need anyone to go out with me. I'm a proper gadget and all that. And it's almost like they don't want to learn, and they don't want to learn new skills, and they don't want to be told, or they don't want to be, oh no, we're going this way. Like, they're very sort of closed in, boxed off way of thinking. And on your sort of meetups, what would you say the split is, sort of male to female?
I try to make it as sort of even as possible.
Yeah.
It is sort of 70, maybe 60-40 like women.
Yeah.
Try and get more men involved as well, because it's nice to have a balance. And then, like you said, I find if I personally message people and get people involved, and then they can see that other men are coming, then I think that's the way. And it's sort of just like you said, shifting people's mentality and getting away from the stigma of meeting strangers and, you know, that kind of thing, or like doing these meetups and going hiking. And it's like just changing the stigma and just getting more people involved and seeing how good it is and how much like fun you can have, and that people that have been on them genuinely enjoy it, and they want to come again, and they want more people to come and it's like just building the community and getting more people.
Yeah. No, that's it. And the routes that you do, are these routes that you already know, or is it like someone who's coming on that day says, oh, I know a good route, we'll do this route? Or how do you sort of organise that?
Well, I've tend to have collaborated with people on the meetup. So like the first one was with our ambassador Iona, and that one, so we did one in Scotland, and they were routes that she knew.
Right.
And the second one was with Pete Crossland, who's another ambassador, and that's a route that he knew in the Peak District.
Yeah.
So he's always out there, so it's like routes that they know.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, it's like it tends to be people that people want to be involved, and they kind of want a bit of purpose and want to feel like they're part of it as well. And a lot of people offer to plan the routes. I mean, I've done like a bit of map reading training, and I just tend to use OS Maps app. Which you might hate that because I've got me, and he's like, no.
I don't hate it. There's got to be a balance. You've got to welcome in new technologies, embrace them. But at the end of the day, I always say this: it will never let you down in the car park on a sunny day in June. Where it will let you down is on the top of a mountain in a whiteout when you've got 5 people looking at you saying, which way is it now? And the excuse cannot be, I don't know because my phone's died. Like, it cannot be the excuse. When you're in charge and when you're the leader, you're the leader. So people look for you for guidance. And when the leader shows like, oh, I don't know, doubt and fear spread so fast, and then it's a downward spiral. And I would always just say, like, I use View Ranger. I think View Ranger is fantastic. But I always have OS Map and Compass, and like I always switch between the two. Like I do loads at night. Like I love night hikes. Like it's just something unique about being the only person on the mountain with your head torch, just proper having a good accountability session and an adventure. You know, it feels like you could. I'll explain it more. So I did Helvellyn back in September with 3 people, and we did the edges, but we did them at night. So as we were going into the range, people were coming off the range, and people were like looking at me as if to say, "Who's that? Who's he?" And the people were like, "Oh, it gets dark at so and so, mate." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I can't wait. Bring it on." And I switched between using my phone and map and compass because there needs to be a crossover of skill. Because if one of them fails you, if you were dining out purely on a phone, that phone one day will fail you. And then again, a friend of mine says, who's another like mountain leader guy, if your navigation is in tech, you have no navigation, because the moment that tech dies, you know, you've got to be able to sort of relax. And there's plenty of people out there teaching navigation courses. And I would say to anyone taking people in the hills, right, think about this. If it all goes Pete Tong and it ends up in a court, right, can you 100% stand up there in front of the judge and say, I was this, this, and this, and these are the procedures that I had in play, and I did everything to my knowledge and safety to get everyone off that hill? And if you just stand up and say, my phone died, they'd be like, 10 years. You know?
I always make sure that there's somebody present who's either a mountain leader.
Yeah, cool.
Like, one of the guys is ex-army, and he's planning the December route that we're doing.
Yeah.
And he's like amazing with map reading, that kind of thing. And
yeah,
I'm all right, but I personally wouldn't sort of be the one in charge of the map reading.
Yeah.
I just prefer to check that everyone's all right and that kind of thing. But I mean, when you're saying about sort of like being experienced and taking people up the hills, after the first meetup that I did, I kind of thought, I don't feel like I should be doing these because we're obviously not insured. Like, people don't pay for the meetups.
Yeah.
It's just gathering a bunch of people in the outdoors that are like-minded people. And then I just thought to myself, like, people are messaging saying I had such an amazing time, like I didn't want to come because I were anxious, but now I've met all these new friends and it was amazing, and people saying, when's the next one? And I just felt like if I don't do these meetups, then people aren't going to be getting outdoors as much, and I'm not connecting people and helping with like mental health and that kind of thing. So I just felt like the alternative to not doing the meetups is worse than, you know,
it's just a business problem, Grace. Like, all you do is, if you just outsource it, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what you do. You go, right, well, people want to do the meetups, and I don't want to stop them, but from a legal aspect, I don't know where I stand with insurance. So then you just say, well, I'll hire a mountain leader, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a business problem. And this is what you've done, is you've solved it by saying this person is a mountain leader and we're under their insurance for the day. Do you know what I mean? But problem solved. Like, that's business, isn't it? Like, that's business 101. It's not rocket science. I
would like to do sort of more adventures, because it might be something we could do with yourself, like you said, like the night walks and stuff, and then get people to pay for them, and then it's a more organised one. But I do always want to keep the free meetups, just as a way to connect as followers as well.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? And it's a great way of what you're doing. You're getting people together, and if more adventures, you know, come on board, then absolutely. You've built a great community. I'm on building mine, and you know, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And it's got to be better than just sitting in your house feeling sorry for yourself because you've got yet another hangover from the weekend and you're thinking, what have I achieved this weekend? I've done now. Do you know what I mean? Like, people make excuses all the time, like, oh, I was going to, but this happened and Tom and Dick and Harry and all that sort of rubbish. And, you know, I say to people, stop liking the photos and get in the photos. Do you know what I mean? Like, come and be in it.
It's like using social media for good. Like, obviously there's a lot of downsides to it, but I think it's using it for positive things and for the meetups, getting people together, getting people outdoors, and actually people being able to connect and meet real people rather than just, like you said, start liking and wishing they were there. It's like, we're not saying, look at us going up this mountain, like our pictures. It's saying you can come and join us up this mountain. That's why I'm like, anybody is genuinely welcome. Like, please join us.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing that you're doing. And you talked before about podcasts that you listen to. Have you taken any inspiration from podcasts? Who is it you listen to and sort of give you inspiration?
The podcast. So I love Adrienne's Power Hour.
Yeah.
So I think that's all about like productivity, making the most of your day and the most of your time and that kind of thing. And it's like not wasting a day. So like saying about being hungover, like I've been there plenty of times. And it's like, just doing as much as you can and just like inspiring positivity, like her podcast. And then the other one is like How I Built This. So that's about entrepreneurs and their story. So anyone from Richard Branson to Ben and Jerry's, Airbnb, and it's just listening to like how they've overcome adversity and how they've built the business up from being nothing. And it's just great to hear their story and think they've been in the positions that I've been in and got and what they've done. And so that's pretty good.
I like to think in every entrepreneur's book, whenever you get there, whenever it's time to write your life story, there should be a section called The Year That I Ate Shit. Do you know what I mean? Because what I mean by that is that's the year that you lived in, you lived in a bedroom, or you didn't drive a flash car, or, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, but people only see what they want to see, the social media following, you're doing well. They don't see like the 15-hour days, the days where it didn't go right, the day that someone left a negative review, the day someone did something and you thought, why am I doing this again? Because like when I had a normal job, I pulled in 35 grand a year. I went on 2 holidays a year and I just did what I want. But all I do now is I chase gratification from people who I don't know. And it's madness. Yeah. But when you believe passionately in your dream, which obviously this clearly is as well, because you can see from the effort that goes into what you're doing, you know, it's really, really rising. And that's what I think, you know, that's the year I ate shit. That's
sounds brilliant.
It might be 2 years, it might be 3 years. I don't know. It depends on sort of how quickly you can build a brand. But I think you're on a great lesson. And I always say this, and he gets a mention on every podcast, and he'll get another mention now. Gary Vaynerchuk is an absolute legend. And I tell everyone who comes on the podcast, and I apologize because once you start listening to him, you'll be like, well, I'm bullshitting because I need to be doing more because this guy's absolutely smashing it. And I've actually been making excuses about this, and this. And there's a fine point and like work-life balance. Do you find work-life balance? Do you do anything but this? Like, do you have like a normal other job, or is this your full-time gig?
I work full-time on YUGEN, but I also do like freelancing stuff. To get money, basically to live on. But I struggle with the work-life balance because my life is just working and my life revolves around YUGEN. And some people have kids and babies and I have my business like YUGEN. So I'm single and I think I genuinely don't know how people would have time to have a partner or kids and run a business at the same time. So
I think, Grace, you have to set boundaries, don't you? You have to say social media ends at 7:30 and doesn't start again till 8. And work emails, that's how you have to do it. And you have to have days. I'm very lucky that my partner, she comes out with me quite a lot hiking. So like she comes out on the days with me, so I get to see her when we go out hiking. Though it's not the same person. Like I have like, it's almost like WWF. Do you know what I mean? Like I put on a bit of a role when I go out hiking because people expect this eagle character. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm always like, come on, let's just go and kick. Yeah, let's go. And, yeah, let's go and kick its head in, and let's go and do another 25 mile and all that sort of carry on. But yeah, it's hard, but it's no different story than any other entrepreneur that's ever built a business. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's the thing. You've just got to accept that how much work you've got to put in, and then you just hope that one day in a few years I can work less. But I love it at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I don't class it as work. Like
yeah,
like obviously there's some days like when I could just cry at how much I've got to do, that kind of thing. You know the face, but it's just like, but I still love it, and I wouldn't change it.
Do you still have the YUGEN mobile? Do you still have that Mercedes?
I was having it yesterday.
Then
I worry that I always think, what if I sleep in it and come out looking like a total hobo, and someone's like taking a photo, like, oh, it's a YUGEN van. Me there, just like.
and for you to get that, did you have to sort of sell something else to get that, or was that like, this is going to be the battle bus, this is what we're going to war in?
It was kind of forced on me. I'd always wanted to get a van, and I always said that I was going to. And then it was like my business partner got the van, and he was selling it. So he said, "I've got some bad news. Got to sell the van." So I was like what shit? What we're gonna do? Kind of thing. And so I had to. He sold it me for cheaper, and I just kind of had to buy that off him because we had no choice. Like we had events coming up and festivals and like dropping stock off and that kind of thing. So I just it kind of got forced upon me.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love it. Like, it is good, but it's obviously not an essential life item, but it's nice to have. Saves you a fortune in like hostels or hotels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, is it all kitted out? Is it? You're sleeping in it?
I had a bed built in the back of it, so a friend built a bed in, so that's pretty amazing. But there's loads I need to do to it. But I figured I need to meet a mechanic to help me fix the problems. But,
so if there's any outdoor enthusiast mechanics, get in touch.
I need the camera fixing on the back and like just a few things that are falling apart. But
oh no, brilliant, Grace, we're absolutely rocketing through this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the part of the show that I love, the 5 whats. I love it. So the first one, what's the greatest piece of advice you've been given?
Best piece of advice was when I was on a placement in an importing company called Attire Clothing, and the owner of the company was just amazing. He's like built his business up from his spare room, and now he's got like this medium-sized company. He's like such a nice guy. It's like a bit of a family atmosphere, like lovely place. And he kind of saw something in me and just like really helped me out. And
awesome.
And his advice was, don't be afraid of failure. So I think that's something that's just kind of stuck with me, because that is something that stops you from doing things in life. Like you're worried about what people are going to think, or for me it's like, what if I have to move back from Australia and it doesn't work out, that kind of thing. And you just got to keep remembering, don't be afraid of failure. And yeah, so that was really good.
Yeah, no, that's a spot I'm on. What's on your bucket list, either business or personal?
Bucket list, so I could probably do an entire podcast about my bucket list. I'll keep it short. So I want to see more in Scotland. I want to do like a road trip. Next year I'm doing a Euro trip across Europe, so I'm going to get the ferry across to Amsterdam and do Germany, Austria and Slovenia. So that'll be amazing. And then longer term, so with Yugen being a Japanese word, I've got a bit of an obsession with Japan, but I've never been. So I want to do Japan, Mongolia and Nepal. But yeah, not got the money for that at the moment. But that one, I really want to do that as a solo trip though. So yes, but that's in the pipeline, hopefully in the next few years.
No, fair play. Yeah, that's class. Number 3.
Yeah, there's so many other places.
No.
But like that's the short list.
Yeah, don't worry. The president of Spain won't send you a message saying, how come you didn't mention Spain?
No, it's me, like, because I'm sharing people's Instagram things all the time, and I'm just get so jealous. I'm like, oh, now I want to go there. Now I want to go there. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Third one, what's been your toughest day?
Toughest day, it was more of a week. So it was when I did Boardmasters.
Right.
That was like pretty horrendous, and probably still have nightmares about it now. So like, just to set the scene, I've never drove a van before. I'd only ever pitched a tent once on my own before. this was last year, so we had a problem with the van. So I ended up having to sleep in the warehouse on day one.
Yeah.
I drove down from Yorkshire down to Swindon to the warehouse, and then I had to drive down the next day to Cornwall. I was camping, and then the people that were meant to be coming to help me set the marquee up for the festival, one had a motorbike accident the day before.
Wow.
And the other two were stuck in like hours of traffic. So I had to drive to the festival, sat there in the van, had a bit of a cry, just thought, what am I going to do? Like, I've got to literally set up a marquee on my own. Like, I was like, what the hell? I just had a word with myself and we're just like, come on, get out, just do this. And then the people next to me were from like some guys from Birmingham that like work on fairs, and I was a bit like scared. I'm like, oh my God, like, are they going to help me? What are they going to be like? And they ended up being absolutely amazing, and they just totally helped me. I don't know what I'd have done without them. And like, I even, like, one of the guys even said, like, I gave him a couple of cans for helping me. And one of the guys says, what are you going to do when it goes dark? I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you've got no lights. And I was like, I've not even brought a hammer, never mind lights. So I was like, I didn't think that bit through. So like I said, I'd never done it before. So I had literally no idea what I was doing. Then also, I didn't realise that you could park the van behind the marquee. So at night, I had to sleep inside the marquee with my stock so that no one stole my stock. So, and then it was like a really bad weather and like storm, so like it was absolutely freezing. My airbed burst, so I was like laid on the floor in this marquee on the grass with this stock for like a week, and it was, yeah, that was pretty horrendous. And then I had to do like 4 trips back up and down to Cornwall because all the stock wouldn't fit in the van. So
oh my God.
And then I also had a business meeting while I was down there, so I had to brush my teeth in Starbucks toilets, and wash my face and go to this business meeting and act like everything was fine. And then I drove up to my friend's 30th surprise party, and I got there just in time after this week. And then it was one of them where they're like, what have you been up to? Have you had a good week? I'm like, yeah, I'm all right, you know, a bit tired, but thinking like, if only they knew. Class.
That is class. Well, that's adversity, and it's certainly an adventure.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I personally despise the word walk, because I feel like I've been on some adventures where I'm like, this is definitely no longer a walk. Do you know what I mean? Like, any minute now, Smaug the Destroyer is going to come off the other side of that mountain, and we're going to be in a fight here. And like, the word walk doesn't cover this, and I'm like, I ban people from saying it on my events. I'm like, anyone says the word walk, and I'll pick the pace up. Because that's what you've been on there. You've been on an adventure. Not all adventures are good, but they're all an adventure. Do you know what I mean?
Character building. It builds a person, definitely. Yeah,
character building. I love that word. What's been your happiest day?
Happiest day, probably like getting the YHA partnership.
Mint.
Me, that is just like the ideal relationship. Like, they're a charity. They're trying to inspire positivity and getting outdoors, and obviously the same sort of thing as us. So as brands totally aligned. So I absolutely love that partnership. And it's like, they're trying to they give money back to the communities and get kids outdoors. So for us, being able to work with them, not only with our products, but like staying at the YHAs for the meetups and stuff, that was brilliant for me.
Yeah, YHA is cool. There's always like some sort of YHA story, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you've stayed at YHA Coniston, Slateman, or YHA Glenridden. Like, the roads getting up to them two YHAs, I don't know how many car suspensions and tyres have been burst getting up there, but it all moves, doesn't it?
Coniston in the van, like, that was an experience. You just hope that no one's cycling past on the roads, don't you, at the same time? It's like...
So is all of your stuff stocked now at the YHAs, or certain YHAs?
Just some of the YHAs, yeah.
And you want them in all of them?
Long term, ideally, yep.
YHA, get on it, get on brand. Which ones I mean, this is a bit of a random question in the middle, but which is your favourite YHA? Like, which one do you like staying at the most?
We did a meetup and stayed at the YHA Coniston Hollyhill last year.
Okay.
Glenn's the hostel manager, and he's like such a legend. Like he's touring around New Zealand in a camper van and stuff. So
nice.
just being there, like that was really nice, and they're really friendly and welcoming. But for me, like, because I drove around the YHAs, that was like, that's another story. That was an adventure in itself. And like dropping the stock off and speaking to the store staff, and they were all just so nice and so like so lovely and friendly. And I think because they're all sort of got travel backgrounds themselves, and sort of some of them have left the corporate world to work in an environment that's fun and meet people. So I think like most of them are really nice.
Yeah, you never sort of ever go to a YHA and you walk in and someone goes, "What?" Like it's always
exactly. It's always like, "What's your what are you doing this weekend? Like, what? This is where you can go and the adventures and stuff." So.
It's great. We've got a one close to me called YHA Boggle Hall. I've been in a few times because I've got a few routes that go past there, but they've spent a lot of money on it. It looks really, really class. I would like to stay there.
We have got our products in that one as well, the Boggle Hole one.
Oh, have you?
So go and stay there and buy buy something from YUGEN.
Wow, you're on a right adventure. So the fifth one, what's next, either for the brand or the person?
What's next? So for YUGEN, we've got the Meetup coming up in December.
Peaks District.
That one's in the Peak District, yes, which
nice.
are coming on, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it looks like I am now, doesn't it?
Just signed you up there.
Signed up.
So that one's with the Mind charity. So that's obviously
nice.
It's to try and encourage more people to get outdoors during winter. So it's obviously people get their SAD, seasonal affective disorder.
Is that because it gets dark dead early and they all get thingy?
Yeah, and I've had it. I used to get it like before going to Australia. I hated like January, that kind of time. Just being you're inside, you've got nothing to look forward to. And this is before I used to go hiking. So my mentality is don't stay inside in winter just because it's cold. Like you just get wrapped up, and sometimes they're the best days, aren't they? Like, so it's just encouraging so people don't feel as lonely and isolated, and to get more people outdoors.
Yeah, I did a little bit of I love a little cheeky live on a sort of summit. And I sort of said yesterday, if you want to get fit for summer, you've got to slog in winter. And it's true. Yeah. You know, if you just knock it on the head in November, December, January, guarantee you by the time March comes around, you'll be an absolute beefer. Do you know what I mean? And it'll be like,
and sometimes that's when you have the best adventures, though, don't you? Like in the snow or whatever. And
I don't know if you know, there's a guy called David Goggins. Have you heard of David Goggins?
No.
Right. Well, Google David, Instagram David Goggins after we finish. Yeah. David Goggins says, never ever, when your alarm goes off, never ever snooze your alarm, because the moment you snooze the alarm, you've already failed. So he is out every day, like 5 bells every day running, like that's his thing. And he's like, the moment you snooze that alarm, you've already failed. And he's like, the alarm goes up, get out and get on with your day. And it's true, like, the days are shorter and sometimes the weather's rubbish, but you know,
you feel better at the end of it, don't you? Like,
yeah, you feel class. You know, it's all character building. So no, it sounds like you've got it. You know, I think in the next few years, YUGEN you'll take over, and I think you'll find a place for yourselves in the big market. I said YUGEN.
You got it right that time. I'll just tell you a couple of the things that we've got planned. So I'm planning on doing some adventure talks next year. So that'll like getting in different speakers. So we're looking at like our ambassador Iona. She's doing a talk at Kendall as well. And getting in just like a couple of other adventurers to come and speak and just inspire people. And then we're going to be at SHAF, so that's Sheffield Adventure Film Festival.
All right.
We've got a stand there, so selling us products. We're also trying to be involved with them and do like a meetup around that time, just to encourage more people from like Sheffield and the area to go to that. Also working with Pat Foundation. So that's Plant a Tree Foundation.
Nice.
The idea is, because obviously I know that we're promoting people to travel and it's bad for the environment. So this is an argument I have with myself every day. But we're inspiring people to sort of enjoy the life and explore this amazing world. So we're doing some good. But we
Cool.
want to sort of give back and encourage people to offset their flights by planting a tree with the Plant a Tree Foundation.
Wow.
So I'm actually posting about that this week.
That's cool.
And then we're looking at getting some investors as well at the moment, so it's exciting times for us.
Wow.
Global meetups, perhaps, adventures worldwide.
Yeah.
Maybe you can lead us. Maybe you can take us to Mongolia.
Wow. Definitely. It all moves. Yeah, definitely. It's
And world domination. Yeah, that's next.
I always say that, world domination. Trying to take over the world. No, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been Grace from YUGEN. It's been absolutely fantastic to have her on. You can tell from her passion in her voice that she loves what she does. They're a really great band. Interact with you. Get on board and get on brand. Where can people find the brand online, etc.? Go crazy. Tell them about everything you've got.
You can. Our website is www.yugenexplore.com.
Yeah.
And we're most active on Instagram. So just YUGEN EXPLORE. We're on Twitter, but I don't really use that one. Yeah, a bit on Facebook. If you want to join the meetups, you can join YUGEN Adventures through Facebook, and we share anything about meetups and that kind of thing on there. And then just to say thank you to everyone that's bought something or like posted about us. It means so much, and yeah, we'll just keep doing what we're doing as long as people love joining us and buying us stuff and joining the meetups. And thanks for having me on the podcast.
No, it's been a classic. I'm glad that you've come on, ladies and gentlemen. That's been Grace. Happy customers is better than a good business plan. That's something I'm definitely going to take away from. It's been a great podcast, as always, because you know consistency is key in anything that you do. Planning on some more awesome guests. I'm going to be taking a Christmas solace. I'm going to have some time away, family, and down tools it for a little bit. But I'm going to have the podcasts lined up and keep knocking them out. And then we roll into 2020, January. Who's getting after it with me? That's what I want to know. Grace, thanks very much for coming on the show. And we'll have this podcast out soon. Adios.
Yeah.